Hello, and thank you so much for tuning into the She Can Ball podcast. I'm your host, Mahi. Today we're joined by UC Merced women's basketball commit and a longtime friend and teammate of mine, Sarina Nagra. So how's preparation for college basketball going?
It's going really good. It's definitely harder than anything I've done. Like I think I've been in the gym more than I've gone to hang out with my friends. Um I recently went down to UC Merced for a workout and it was definitely different how they were working out. A lot focused on your position. Like for me, a shooting guard had to make a certain amount of shots and have to now go back to my gym and practice till I make a certain amount of shots. For example, we had a drill we did, and it was you had 30, there's 5 spots on the 3-point line, and you had 30 seconds and you have to make as many as you can. She was talking to me and she was like, okay, 3-point shooters are at 20 and good are at 30. And we'll give you the green light when you get to 30. I was only at 17, but or no, 15, but we were shooting on an outdoor court. So I have some excuse right there.
Yeah. So how much have you been going down to UC Merced? Because I know that you live closer than most players are to their college.
I've went down 3 times now. One for a visit, one for team bonding, and a little workout. But the workout was a lot of dribbling, and then it was scrimmaging the whole time. And then I went yet 2 days ago for that one outside. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I do want to come back to this topic, but as always, I always like to kind of go back to the beginning of your basketball journey and just kind of reflect on that. So when did you first get into basketball?
I got into basketball when I was in second grade. I used to remember watching my brothers play, and I just wanted to be like them and play the sport. So I started off in CYO, like everybody does.
Yeah.
St. Raymond's. And I just remember the first time I got there, I was so scared. I think there's a video somewhere, I don't know who has it, but I just started bawling my eyes out because I was so scared. It was so nerve-wracking. And my dad pushed me out there and I started playing. Ever since then, I've loved the sport, and yeah.
You talk about your brothers and stuff. Was it them or was it someone else that you kind of looked up to growing up?
I think what my brothers, they gave me more my competitive side. I don't think I did obviously somewhat look up to them, but they weren't my reason I went and wanted to be so good at basketball. I think they gave me my competitive side to basketball, what the reason why I not push, but the reason why I'm get so mad if we lose or get down, or not down on myself, but just get motivated to do better. And as you can see at practice when we're playing, I get so
Yeah.
pumped up. That's because of them.
And I'm actually curious because I feel a lot of young kids, me included, we watched the Warriors growing up and that was a big inspiration for us. Did that not happen for you? Full
I
disclosure, Sarina is not a Warriors fan, even though
Yeah,
she
I
lives
am
in
not a
Bay
Warriors
Area.
fan. Go Celtics. Um, I did watch the Warriors growing up because obviously my whole family is Warriors fans. But again, I feel like I just wanted to be different from them and just not hop on the bandwagon. So I had to jump off. And when I was growing up, I really liked Russell Westbrook growing up the whole time. Even though I do not play like him at all because he can't really shoot, I just really liked his motor and how he just kept going and going. And yeah, and now where's Russ? I don't know.
Who do you which NBA or WNBA player do you think you play most like?
That's a good question. Hmm. Okay, let's see. I feel like
I'm trying to think too. I'm
I used to think Paul George, but he shoots way more mid-range than I do.
I
Hmm.
would almost say Curry because I feel you've got the floater, you have the shot and you're a shoot first type of player, but you can get to the rim too.
Okay, my college coach did say that to me because I do take those super deep shots too as him, and I can
And
make.
the floaters.
Yeah, I do a lot of floaters.
Yeah.
Uh, So I'm not trying to say I'm anything as good as Curry, but I'm just, maybe my game is kind of like Curry because I do pull a lot of threes.
Yeah, for sure. Like that one at the NCS, that was like that's probably one of my favorite moments ever. So it was like
Yeah.
the at the half for our NCS game when we played I was gonna say Dublin. We played at Dublin versus Granada and Sarina had this like crazy I think we already had like a lead at that point, but it was like this
Yeah.
crazy deep three to end the half and it was just like, oh my gosh, like
It was just disheartening to them because that just really shoved it into them because keep in mind they did drop an article on us.
yeah.
Had to show them we had more heart.
Exactly, exactly. What was sort of like your transition though to like high school basketball like?
Hmm. That's a good question. So I played a lot of AAU, so I think I was actually kind of ready when high school basketball rolled around because I started with the Monte Vista program when I was in sixth grade, from Coach Powers to Coach Jim to Coach Jack. I played for summer league with them since I was in sixth grade. Had went to their summer camps. So I think when high school started, it was actually an easy transition for me because I was so used to it, and obviously like I knew all the girls that were coming because they were like all my teammates before, and I was already comfortable with the coach. So I think it was a really easy transition. So if because I know people listen to this, a really helpful advice: go to your team summer camps and stuff and get used to the girls. Even if you don't think you're gonna make varsity or you're not good, don't ever have that mindset and still go and get to know the people because they're gonna be in your lives for the next 4 years.
Very true. And just like getting to know the coach and just getting like an idea of what like playing style and stuff is, I think that's really helpful.
Hmm.
I talked to Nia Coleman, so she's actually off to play basketball at Mississippi College. For those who don't know, when she was on, she kind of talked about like that moment of winning NCS, not like this year, but like last year when you were a junior, and just like how gratifying that was, considering all that you and like our two seniors, like Sarah or three, Sarah, Alexis, and Mia had just like been through together. Like how special was that win for you?
It was probably the best day of one of the best day of my lives. It meant so much just to see not only people at the game, but us having a student section, having our school behind us right there. Um, Finally showing the like people in our league and even like all around the Bay that Monte Vista is a name school and that we are good, and then just putting our team out there because before our that junior year, you never really heard of Monte Vista. Monte Vista. Now I feel like we've not just the first one did it, but the second one put us there. Like no one can ever take that away from us two in a row. So I think it was just so special because it put our names on a map.
Yeah. And like coming into the season, like did you think that like coming like your senior year, did you think that we were gonna win NCS again?
Honestly, no. I'm gonna be so honest. I did
Hmm.
not think that. Me and Nia knew it was gonna be very hard. Um, but our team really gelled like good together. I don't We all had the components and it came into one great team. Obviously, we had like some flaws defense wise, but offensively, our team was super strong. Like there was there all five of us on the court at one time. It was really strong. We had Nia obviously could score at any time. We had Mahi, really good 3-point shooter, and we had Rachel could put the three up and drive, and then we also had our I think a really important factor is Alyssa. She
For
did
sure.
something for our team that I've never seen before. She's probably 5'7", like my height, and she was getting every board put back. She hustled. She was just our hustle man, and I think a really special factor was Alyssa this year.
And like more than that, just being a freshman and just like, there was just there was no nerves, like just like the mental like toughness that she had, whether it was taking stuff from the coaches or just like going out there in super high pressure situations. I mean, playing, in an NCS game, playing in state like as a freshman. I it was just mind blowing to see her and it's so awesome to see and we're so excited to see like, what she's gonna do for us just
Yeah.
the program.
sometimes I forgot she was even a freshman because the way she would hold herself on the court and yeah, she had some lapses, but like she's still learning to grow. And I had to remember that she's still doing all this and she's a freshman. I remember my freshman year, I was nervous too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're very excited. We actually have summer camp because I know that so for those who don't know, last season we got new coaches, which are incredible, by the way. I think that like whenever there's like changes and stuff, it's always like, oh, you never really know what's gonna happen. Like, what was like your like initial reaction to Coach Steve, and how do you think that like changed throughout the season?
My initial reaction, I did not like Coach Steve. He had a very, how would you describe it? Very big personality. Came in very, just was there. And at first, I remember I was like, I don't like this coach. Like, and I feel like he does not know what he's talking about. But that really changed when we came to the Akalani's game. Um, he definitely knew what he was talking about. He had some good plays. Akalani's was actually, I didn't know this, but a really like good team, and they were known around the Bay. We almost beat them that game. It was just some lapses. I think if we played them at the end, we would have beat them.
For sure.
But Coach Steve really knew how to bring us all together and how to use each one of our talents and put it into a basketball team. And I think Coach Steve is a really good coach. Um, he definitely let each one of us shine. Even when I remember I would sometimes get down on myself if my shot wasn't going in, he would still believe in me and let me shoot any shot I wanted to. Trust me, there's some crazy shots I've shot, and he never got mad at me or was like, Sarina, what are you doing? Or like bench me or anything like that for those shots. He always supported me, and I think that's really important from a coach to always have your back. So he's a really good coach. Shout out Coach Steve.
Yeah, I think just like the belief and like trust that he has in us was just amazing. I feel like from the number one person to like that last player on the bench, I think like he believes in you, and anytime he puts you in the game, like he's gonna trust you and like what you think you need to do that's best for the team.
Yep.
You and Nia were kind of just like the top leading scorers, senior captains. Do you feel like the pressure throughout the season like really started to increase as we got later on in the season?
Definitely it did. When we got into higher like games like SRV and more into NCS, was really kind of stressful. And if I didn't like if I didn't do my part on the team that game, I felt terrible until the next game because I feel like I wasn't just letting myself down, but also my teammates down because I feel like they looked up to me and Nia. Um, But I had to remember that my teammates had my back. So even if I wasn't on that game, we still have four other players that are, and I can still help in other ways like rebounding, playing defense, getting back, and bringing the ball up the court. So it was stressful, but nothing to where I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's so true. I think like one of the greatest things about your game is just how versatile you are. Like I said, I think like your shooting is like absolutely tremendous. And I feel like that opens up so many aspects of your game, right? Whether that's like a drive. Okay, well, I feel like shooting generally just helps with like your driving, but like the fact that you're a really great defender, you can handle the ball really well. Like I just think it adds and like you don't have to be doing one thing to contribute to the team because there's so many great things about you.
Thank you.
What was like your favorite memory of playing basketball at Monte Vista?
If it wasn't for those two NCS games, let's see. I feel like that's a basic answer, those two NCS wins.
Yeah,
I feel like the Granada win was NCS. Let's see. I have two, and one is controversial, I think, because we lost, but it still was a good game. I think the first one was when we came back and we were down 19 in the third quarter against Cal. That was just
oh
at
yeah.
at Brentwood. That was probably one.
Good one.
Yeah, that shocked some people. And probably when we played SRV at home, we had a good crowd. We were up by so much. Even though we lost, I think that really showed us we're on the same level as them. So that was a really good, even though there was some tears after the game, I think that was a really good memory because it showed us we're just as good.
Yeah, and I think that like that Cal game was so like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I think that we just knew that like I think we finally clicked that game because that was like the beginning like our preseason. I think that was towards the end of preseason, like one of like our last tournaments or whatever.
And the night before we played Vanden super late, and then we had the 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh
So
yeah,
and the drive was very far. So
hmm
because we came back the next time we played Cal, beat them by 20.
exactly. And I think that it kind of just showed like our growth too. But I think that like that was really great that you brought it up. I think that that Cal game was like the first glimpse of like you know what like I think we could be really good, and I think that we like finally like clicked and kind of learned how to like work together and stuff.
Definitely.
And then like what was sort of what went into that decision of like choosing where because I know you've always wanted to play college basketball. So like what was kind of going into that decision of like where you wanted to play college basketball?
It was very stressful. I will not lie. I think that's the most stress I've been in my life. You just have to feel like the coaches, the school, the campus, your teammates, where you're gonna fit onto that team. For UC Merced, they made me feel very welcomed. I really like Coach Kelly and Coach Matt, and I feel like their team will let me like expand my game even. I'm not going to just be considered a shooter on that team and where I just have to stay on the 3-point line and shoot threes. I feel like on the team I can be versatile. I can drive, I can bring the ball up sometimes, I can shoot, and I feel like I like my teammates a lot too. And it actually it kind of feels like the Bay Area again because I have so many teammates from the Bay, so it feels kind of
Mm.
and it's close to home because I remember when I was first talking about my recruitment, and my coach asked me like, "Well, where do you want to go?" And I was saying like Florida and stuff like that, and I did have interest from Florida, and I never went to visit it or like did it because I felt like I was gonna be too far away from home. Like I visit my mom a lot, and I just like I felt like I was gonna be too far, and the flight is bet a flight is was way longer than a 2 hour drive from UC Merced.
Yeah, and talking about your mom, like she was there at every game, recording, always
Mm-hmm.
cheering us on, and she came from like far too. Like what, like how much do you think that you owe like your basketball success to your mom, or how much do you just appreciate all that she's kind of like put in for you?
I owe her 100%. She has been my number one supporter since day one. She's actually, when you asked me earlier, she's actually the reason why I strive to be good at basketball and always like work harder and want to do good. It's for her because I've seen like all the commitment and dedication she's put into me, all the money, all the time she's traveled with me, missed work. Um, and she did all that because she cared. She wanted me to be great, so I wanted to be great to give back to her. She drove 30, 40 minutes every time to our games. Our just those are just our home games at Monte Vista. She was at every single game from Brentwood to Chico. And I know even though UC Merced is 2 hours from her, she's still gonna be at every one of those home games too.
What are you like most looking forward to with college basketball?
Hmm. I think I'm just looking forward to get on the court because I feel like this offseason I've been putting in a lot of work, and I just want to see I think my game's expanded. I just want to see where I'm at now compared to everyone else, and I'm looking forward to traveling because we're going to on a lot of we're going to like Ohio, and I think our sophomore season we're going to Hawaii and Arizona, and like
Ooh.
traveling and playing like other teams, and we're gonna be playing D1 teams in preseason. So just seeing like that feel of where I'm at compared to D1 players is just it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and lastly, like just what advice do you have for young girls that are looking to pursue basketball at a high level?
Hmm. Never give up. I remember I it was my senior it was junior summer, so that's your last AAU summer, and I wanted to make the second team, and I got pushed to the third, and I was really thought like, oh, because I felt like I should have been on that second team, and I didn't, even though that staying on that third team meant staying with the team I've been with since I was a kid, since I was in fourth grade, and my coach that I've known for so long, I didn't feel like I should have been there. Like I felt like I was better than that. And so I went to a whole new team, new coach, and everything was different than whatever I've learned. And I had to come in and just hoop. Like there was no structure, there was no plays. It was just hooping. So I think young girls, if something doesn't go your way, you don't make a team, you feel like you're in a slump, just keep going, push through it, because I promise you it will get better. If I thought back to my junior summer, I thought everything was gone. I did not have any offers or interest at that point. I thought I was just gonna be a normal kid in college, not playing basketball, and just making, even though the jump seems scary, you got to make that risk. I mean, you gotta take a chance. And yes, there are risks, but you're gonna push. If you push through, I promise you that chance will be beautiful, and it will help you grow. And just don't give up and hoop. So that's my advice.
Before we go, is there anyone that you kind of just like want to shout out?
I definitely want to shout out my trainers, Coach Randy and Coach Chanel. They've been with me since summer of 8th grade. We started on a basketball court outside at Fallon, and now he has his own gym. So they've just pushed me to a whole new level, and I would not even be close to the basketball player I am today if it wasn't for them. They've always had my back, and I'll always have their back, and they're just like they're like the best people. Like they're so like warm. You know, when people are warm and good-hearted, I know I can always go, even just if it wasn't even basketball related, I can go to them for any help. They're like not my like mom and dad, like second mom and dad, but they're like my like second aunt and uncle. So shout out them. Thank you guys. Love you guys. And shout out We Hear Hoops.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Sarina. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, She Can Ball.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified every time I post a new episode. Make sure to follow us on socials as well. We're at she.can.ball on Instagram and at shecanballpod on Twitter. I'll see you all next time.